Last episode we wrapped up the Premier League season. Today, to kick things off, the small matter of the Europa League final. And as if a cup final, which we are definitely favourites for, wasn't enough for your appetite today, we are from there going to hop straight into a transfer special. The window is opening, we're top of the Premier League, we've won the title once, I want to win it again next year, as well as the Champions League. We've got some transfer budget and some wage budget to make that happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do some wheeling and dealing too. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back to the Journey Manager. Last episode, we wrapped up the Premier League title and I laid the gauntlet to try and win a Champions League with Mark, at least in the next year or two, or before he retires. But before all of that and the plans for next season commence, as I've already mentioned, the small match of the Europa League final today. And well, after last episode's heroics, we are just going to hop straight into things today. This is a game where we are massive favourites. PAOK are a team that are kind of a mid-table finish, in all honesty, in Greece. So the fact they've made it this far is a fairy tale run. In terms of our team news for today's game, it's the exact same team that played that last game of the season against Everton, was able to rotate things and obviously add a few more players to the bench, just because in Europe you get extra players on the bench. But as you can see here, Brits still out injured. So Kirillov, who was a hero last episode with some really good goaling performances to end the season, he's back in goal today. In terms of the rest of the team, it is at full strength. There was a temptation to keep the rotated theme going that I had been using throughout, well, most of this Europa League campaign. The B team is really what's got us here, but at the end of the day, I want silverware. My best chance of making that happen is going full strength in this one. Now, without being too dismissive of PAOK, I'm hoping this is just going to be one of those really straightforward games where we don't even need to show all the highlights in loads of detail, and I'm just in cruise control. An early goal would help with that. Of course, we are persisting with our 4-3-2-3-1 narrow system that, I'll be honest, has worked really well this year. If you were wondering, this cup final is taking place at the Johan Cruyff Arena. We've hopped across on a ferry to the Netherlands for a little party. I say the Netherlands. It is the Netherlands, isn't it? There's always that whole the Netherlands and Holland thing, because the national team was very casually referred to as Holland, at least when I was a wee lad. I feel like it's now referred to as the Netherlands again, which I believe is the correct term, because I think Holland is a region in the Netherlands. Is that correct, or is it the other way around? You know what? It doesn't even matter, does it, in the grand scheme of things here? We need to do some defending. We are playing in our blue kit. The ball's whipped to the back post. Kirillov collects. Now let's hope we can go up the other end and score. They are playing a free at-the-back system with wing-backs, defensive mids, and then they're kind of playing a front three with attacking midfielders in the wide areas and a striker up front. It's a very annoying system to try and break down, but I feel like with our attacking mids, we're well equipped to maybe try and make it happen. Perhaps, what I was going to say, as early as the 14th minute, Balaki has hit the woodwork. And that early breakthrough that I craved, it was close right there. I mean, we're already halfway through this first half. No shots on target for ourselves. They've had a couple of shots on target. We've had 70% of the ball, which is crazily high for us. With 10 minutes left of the half, I'm actually going to switch our mentality to attacking here. We're dominating possession to an extent where I almost want to try and play on the front foot that little bit more. And well, despite those changes to try and go on the front foot, I made those changes. I don't think there was any shots, pretty much, since we made those changes. The second half, that first half, had nothing happen. The ball firmly stuck in the midfield. I discussed last episode this idea of trying to win the Conference League, Europa League and Champions League in a single save game with the same club. Obviously, probably not going to get many more chances of the Europa League final beyond this, at least you'd hope so. I'm kind of planning now for this team to be a Champions League regular. So the fact we're in the cup final era and we're not ahead is making me a little bit nervous, especially when we hit the woodwork like we have just done there. Mastalone, so many assists for the left-back. Can he deliver another ball of quality? He cuts inside, maybe on his right foot. I feel like he shouldn't be shooting on his right foot there. He's very left-footed. Okay, an hour played in this game. I am going to make some changes. Vial, in you come for Junjun Hwan, who's been poor today. Everard's not been good either. Ferrantin Carr, I am just going to bring in. I love his 19 jumping reach. I think as a plan B attacking option, he is a player that we should definitely be aiming for. We're going to float the crosses to him. And this might be a little bit controversial. I'm actually going to tell the players to distribute it to the target forward and take long kicks on the goalie. I want to try and use Carr. I feel like as a striker with his 19 jumping reach, he should be really capable of challenging their defence and flicking on balls for on-runners from deep. Okay, we do have a corner here. It's Mastalone over it on his left foot, near post. Hamilton doesn't get the header initially away, but it falls back into a dangerous area. And Carr, we brought him on to do just that, minus the fact he hit the woodwork for us as the header went over. There's 20 minutes left here. We've had 2 shots on target from 17 shots. We've been cack in this game, and now Gabriele's on the floor injured. I'm going to hope that's not too serious. We have got a free kick. It's whipped in. Marco Polo back posto heado. That was far too many O's, wasn't it? Was it cringe commentary? Maybe a little bit. We do not care. It's a set piece. I don't care. Sometimes they go in like they do there, and we're going to celebrate them. I think at this point here, I just want to bring in some fresh legs into the defensive midfield area. Milan on you come, and you know what? This might be something I live to regret. Mark the space. Get him in at Regista. That's right, my son is playing in the Europa League final. Of course, completely on merit. There's a tear in my eye. There's 4 minutes left. This has been a damn awful final. But you know what? We've won it. And as a result of that, I do not care. Yes, the Europa League is ours. We get the custom podium cutscene, which is very fun. And well, now I suppose all eyes are on the dream of winning all 3 European competitions at a single club in an FM save game. We won the Conference League 2 years ago. This year we've won the Europa League. Next stop, Champions League glory? I mean, we're going to have to play better than we did in this final. We were awful. Congratulations, what a win. The players are all loving it. The fans are loving it, and I mean, if we just go to my manager profile here, look at this. Europa League winners, Premier League winners, Carabao Cup runner-up. It's not quite as exciting, is it? Conference League winners as well. We are serial winners now, I think it's safe to say. We broke the consecutive wins record in the Europa League. Come on! Balaki won Europa League Player of the Season, and Gasparini, the backup left-back, actually got runner-up in that voting, which is absolutely insane when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, is he that much worse than Gabriele? Am I going crazy? Gasparini, okay, he's a little bit of a downgrade. I think we signed him for less than like £1 million, or maybe it was like £2 million. What a buy that ended up being. Just to confirm, £2.5 million paid for him from Liverpool. I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? Balaki won Golden Boot as well. 12 goals, 8 assists in 14 games. This man, Mr. Europa League. That almost sounds like an insult, doesn't it? I mean, look at this 11 for the tournament. It is dominated by our players. You love to see it. And with that all said and done, we have our season review ahead of me going potentially crazy in the transfer market. Here are the signings of the season. Gabriele Mastalone ended up winning it. £37 million for him. I'll be honest, looks like a bargain, doesn't it, really? 21 assists in 33 games. I feel like we signed the player that Manchester United thought they were signing when they bought him for £20 million, and he really failed to make a splash in the Premier League before. Balaki, 26 goals in all competitions, most of those in the Europa League. Jeremy Everard, Golden Boot winner in the Premier League, didn't get signing of the season. I'd be fuming if I was him. Board confidence is an A+. We were mostly selling out our ground. And well, when you look at this Premier League table, doesn't it look good? Tell you what, this site's never going to get old. Club reputation has risen up to worldwide, which is really, really good as well. Easy to forget, last year, we only had 4-star rep. That did limit some of the signings I could make. In terms of the Media Dream 11, it's mental that Sousa and Vial have made it in here over Jun Hwan. And, well, I was going to say Sauer, but obviously he was injured quite a lot. I mean, the fact that Everard's not in up front is mental, isn't it? Really. Premier League Golden Boot winner. Nah, sorry, mate, you can't be in the team of the year. Club expectations for next year. Challenge for the Premier League title and reach the latter stages of the Champions League. I'd like to do that. Interesting to note here, actionable objectives. Sign players to sell for profit. Is that the game foreshadowing what we're going to have to do this summer, maybe? Post-season meeting done, all the players are delighted. I'll tell you what, these post-season meetings are very easy when you've actually won a load of stuff. Now, in terms of my plans for the rest of this episode, we are now going into a transfer special. The plan of attack is going to be to come back every few weeks and just give you an update on what's going on. If any monster offers come in, naturally, I'll come back and discuss those as they occur. I want to try and get most of pre-season done today so that next episode we're kicking off the Premier League season. But of course, the big aim for next year is just going to be a renewed focus on trying to win the Champions League. I've just blocked out what I think is my best 11 when everyone is fit here. In terms of positions to maybe improve, I do look at Hamilton at centre-back as maybe a little bit of a weak link. Then again, when you've got youngsters like Vincent Day, who's good, but also Geraldinho. Why is Geraldinho not here? Also, it's Geraldo, not Geraldinho. You know, not all Brazilians end in Dinho, it turns out. This guy I kind of want to give game time to. Do I need to sign a replacement for Hamilton? I mean, to be honest, when I look at the rest of the team, I'm pretty happy too. What I could do maybe is move Marco to centre-back and sign a new right-back. That might be a more sensible way to solve the problem, and if I could maybe get in a new right back, maybe I'd play them on full-back on attack. Marco was just a little bit makeshift in that wider area, really. Probably would be better playing through the middle. Besides that, I think it's just going to be about adding some depth to the team where we can, but to be honest, in the final third, we're good. If anything, I think I maybe have a few too many attacking mids. Someone like Mamadi, I really didn't give enough football to this year. There is some interest in him, but on the flip side, rather than selling on Mamadi, could I maybe look to sell on someone like Vial, who I think is good but wasn't great? I mean, his value's not too bad if I compare him with Mamadi. I mean, is he better than Mamadi? I think Mamadi's probably got the edge and he's 8 years younger. Either way, last year's transfer window was a real revolution of the squad. I think this year is just going to be a bit of a natural evolution. We don't need to do what Liverpool have done this summer, having won the league and gone mental. Just going to be about making some sensible signings. I'm going to come back when the transfer window is opening and hopefully there's some news going on. Admittedly, that is a good few weeks away. So buckle up, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 2 seconds for you, probably an hour for me. I'll see you in a mo. Okay, well, I'll be honest, when I was going to come back for the first time, I wasn't expecting a deal this big to maybe be happening. And I say maybe because it's not done yet, but Carlos Amador, who is Liverpool's captain, has agreed to sign for me. I mentioned this idea of maybe signing a right back and then moving Marco into the middle. I saw that Amador was available because Liverpool have been underperforming and I just couldn't help myself. Of course, in this universe, Liverpool kind of just suck. They finished 9th for the year just gone, and Amador is their captain, loves important matches, super consistent. He will be coming in to replace Hamilton at centre-back. And if we just compare these two players, he is a ridiculous upgrade for us. Now, this does come with the caveat that he is going to cost me £89 million. There is some instalments being used to make that happen. I can adjust the budgets to get this deal done now, and I am actually going to adjust them because even though I've adjusted the budgets, the actual wage budget free, I think, should still be in the region of £200,000. Yeah, almost £300,000 still. Obviously, the transfer budget is now 0. The transfer window in England doesn't open until the 9th, but there are some sales happening. The first of these is a little bit sad, but I think Carr is leaving us. After 1 year at the club where he failed to score in all competitions, I'm sending him packing for £15 million. Now, we signed him on a free transfer, so I'm pretty happy to get £15 million for a man who, to be honest, didn't actually play that much this year. And the other man I'm selling, and this one might come as a bit of a surprise, but it's Fausto Sanchez. The 25-year-old defensive mid is a great player, but he's kind of hit his ceiling. We signed him on a free transfer, and Aston Villa made a bid of £57 million for him. That is all up front. I just felt like that was kind of too good to refuse. I have got an understudy in Javi Benitez, who was out on loan for the year just gone, who I was thinking could compete in this spot. Now, I'll be honest, he is a little bit of a downgrade from Sanchez, but given the fact he's 21 with a lot of potential, there's part of me that kind of just wants to give Benitez a chance in the first team with us. I signed him for his potential. He's got potential. Obviously, he would have to show it. Yeah, I mean, look, Sanchez is a big miss. I'm not going to kind of play it down. I might still look to find a defensive mid, but the money that they've offered, £57 million, is just too much for a backup. Especially for a backup where I do actually already have a player who is young, who I can probably open up a first-team opportunity for if I make the sale. You can see here, Matt is being linked with a move to AC Milan for £82 million. Absolutely no intention of selling this guy. Trending to play defensive mid this year. He is a world-class regista, consistent, loves important matches. He will not be touched. Obviously, Amador is going to come in for Hamilton. Right now, there's no further budget to improve the team, but to be honest, the team's so good that that's not necessarily a massive problem. I said I didn't think there was going to be deals done this window, and then I said, we'll get a centre-back in. I've kind of done that early, and now I'm not sure what the plan is for the rest of the window. I mean, when you look at the players outside of the starting 11 and bench, a few of these guys do have big, big values. I mentioned Vial. I have explored a move for him. No one wants him at the moment. Maybe some people will change their tune. Elsewhere, Diego Tofano, the youngster who we picked up for £6 million, is valued at £63 to £70 million. If I could get over £50 million for him, I would probably take the money and run. Right now, he's on loan at Freiburg until the end of the year. I can't terminate the loan early either. So as a result of that, I've got to wait for it to expire. But I'm hoping that in a month's time, we might get some quite good bids for him because he just doesn't fit our system with him being a winger. The Premier League transfer window is open. Balaki, rumour of a move to Tottenham. I don't think that one's going to be happening. I mean, he is 30 though. 90 million? How much is acceptable? Let me know. In terms of signings, though, Carlos Amador is through the door. Yes, the man signed from Liverpool, the captain of Liverpool, moving to Newcastle. It's like the reverse of real life of the current ongoing transfer saga, isn't it, really? That signing, by the way, is a club record purchase, which seems mad for Newcastle. I feel like they spend way more money than that in most Football Manager save games. One of the reasons I'm able to spend that money is that Sanchez has left for Aston Villa, sold for £57 million. I'm pretty happy with that for a flip. Arsenal have made an offer here for Gasperini. I really don't want to sell Gasperini. He's a very good backup left back. In fact, I've taken inspiration from him, and I'm trying to find a similar mould of player, but for the right-hand side, and I have found that man. Now, last year's backup right-back was Semeraro. We snapped him up on a free transfer a few years ago, and as the backup, he actually featured in a decent number of games for us. But as you can see here, Villarreal have bid £23 million for him. At 29, he's not really getting any younger, and I don't feel like he's a super standout player, despite that one amazing year for us. Marc Gomez is the man I want to sign to replace him. Like I said, a similar mould of player in terms of a very young fullback who can actually play left back as well. When we compare the two players here, I'd make the argument that Gomez is a little bit better. And assuming the Semeraro sale goes through, I will then confirm the signing of Gomez. He's already agreed to join us. And technically, I would be making £5 million of profit comparing the two players. The caveat to that is that at the moment, I only get 70% of the money that I get back from sales in transfer budgets. As a result of that, I think we do actually work out a slight net negative. But I really like the look of Marc Gomez here. Decent potential, not the best in the air. But in terms of just, an upgrade on Semeraro, who's younger and overall is not that much more expensive, I feel like it just makes sense. Obviously, we have a new centre-back now to add to the team. Let's get Amador in. I think Marco is going to be our right-back this year. Naturally, whilst I am now looking to sign Gomez, he's nowhere near as good as Marco. In fact, when you look at the comparison here, you can really get an idea for just how good Ramon Marco is. It's weird, because his polygon is so far out on stuff like aerial and mentals, he kind of doesn't look like a fullback. But actually, in terms of more defensive wing-back options, he is bloody brilliant. Now, another sale that has already happened is Farhan Tinkar. He has now left the club for £15 million to go to Qatar. I'm pretty happy with that. He didn't get any goals for us. If you're wondering, Jack, what is the plan for this striking position? You've lost a striker. What are you doing? Well, the plan is in the youth team. It's Mohamed Falata, who technically is on loan for another year at Al Taib, but I can recall him from his loan, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We signed him last year, loaned him back for what was a 2-year agreement. He's not played great in Saudi Arabia, and I feel like he'd be better served playing for us as a third choice option. But to be honest, when you actually look at his attributes here, outside of his lack of aerial ability, he is an absolutely insane talent. Obviously, a very different player to Carr, that there is no doubt. But he's 18. Admittedly, he will be 19 come the start of the season because his birthday's next month. But he is so, so good. Now, looking at the rest of the team, I mentioned Tofano. Obviously, I can't offer him out yet, but I'm looking to move him on. At centre-back, we have got a few too many options now, I feel like, just with the players at our disposal. Right now, Gustav Lundqvist is the man I'm looking to move on. We've not had any offers for him yet, but there is some interest in him. 18 to 19 million pounds he's valued at. To be honest, if we get kind of 15 million for him, I'd probably take it. Right now, he is our 6th best centre-back option. I do also feel like at centre attacking mid, we almost have too many players now, if there ever was such a thing. Obviously, Soa, Faye and Balaki is kind of my selected front three. I'm a little bit paranoid by the fact they're all 30, but of course this team is very much in win now for Mark mode. And the reality is that with Mark now being 32, we're running out of years for success, so I think this will just be, you know, an acceptable age for these players. If I was looking at a more longer-term save, I suppose I might look at Big Delhi with a bit of fear. It is worth noting that Big Delhi, of all the options in the team, is probably one of the weaker players on paper, just because of his technicals. But to be honest, as a defensive stay-at-home midfielder, I feel like there's not a load of technicals needed, and those that he does have are the ones that he needs for what he does for us. You look at his mentals, he's great. You look at his physicals, he's a real leader in the dressing room. Such a shame he's been injured, but with his consistency in important matches, I don't think I need to replace him. I did see a couple of comments saying they thought he was a weak link because of these technicals. I'll be honest, for me personally, it's just not a concern with the role that he plays. But outside of my starting centre attacking mid options, I do feel like I have just a few too many players here. Vidal is the man I've been looking to move on. Vidal was a man that we actually signed last year as a young prospect for £5 million. I don't know how good he's going to be. I'm kind of looking at his valuation thinking, could I just cash in for him now? To be honest, he'd be better served by either going out on loan or being demoted to the under-21s. But yeah, I might try and get that money for him. Now, with all the wheeling and dealing that we've done, the transfer budget does sit at £48 million still. There is actually almost £500,000 free in wages too. So yeah, because of that big Sanchez sale, because of the car sale, and well, just because of the other sales we've got going on, there is now suddenly money to spend. I don't know where to improve, which might sound a bit odd. Maybe right back is the area to look at further. I really like this team. I don't know if that's obvious. I just feel like it's a pretty well-rounded squad. I know Brits, in terms of star rating, is kind of the worst-rated player. That is just a case of Football Manager being absolutely rubbish when it comes to goalkeeper star ratings. The star ratings of players are far too heavily weighted in terms of average ratings, and for goalies, they very rarely break a 7.0 rating outside of saving penalties or a load of shots. And especially if you're an elite level team like we are, you have far less shots against you, and just generally speaking, keepers just struggle to get good ratings as a result of that. Yeah, I feel like you can look at Brits and look at the star rating and stuff. I mean, if we just look at his milestones here, obviously he's won a lot for us, but in terms of the Premier League Golden Glove, he's been right up there. In terms of the world's best goalies as well, he is featured in the top 2 on occasion. The best goalie apparently right now is Ryman's, who I'm obviously not going to be able to sign. And when you compare him with Brits, is he that much better? Maybe slightly, but I can't sign him anyway, even if I wanted to. I am pretty content with the best 11 I've got locked in. I'm kind of looking at players on the bench outside of Mark, who are kind of north of 25, and thinking they're the players to cash in on. I suppose Semiraro's already on his way out. Vial, a little bit of interest in him from PSG. I'll tell you what, if PSG want to make a bid, that would be good. They don't want to make a bid yet. He's not the first choice for them. I mean, 29 years old, played a handful of games for us, but was signed on a free transfer and has only been a squad option. If I can get over 20 million, it's probably worth just selling him on because of his wages. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good about the transfer window right now. I'm going to keep playing on a little bit. I feel like everything's been sensible so far, but I feel like that's all we really need to be doing. Okay, folks, it's the 3rd of July. The season tick-over date has happened. Updated media prediction of 3rd feels pretty blooming good. I'm hoping maybe we can make a few more additions to climb higher, but compared to last year, that's a massive improvement. Interestingly, Aston Villa favourites for the title. Yeah, very interesting. Obviously, in this universe, they have a lot of money. Last year, they finished 10th. Yeah, good luck to them. As for ourselves, well, Nicolas Semeraro has left the building. He's gone to Villarreal. We actually got that £23 million for him, which I was really happy about. That does mean we've confirmed the signings of Mark Gomez, who is the new replacement, and young protege right back. But between him and Amador, and I guess Falata, who we've called back from loan, they are the new signings right now. But our first team is looking a little on the bloated side. Obviously, I've managed to get rid of some of the older reserve players. I've now got loads of youngsters here that I need to probably try and loan out for the most part. A few of them I want to keep around as squad players, of course, but one of them that I have a bit of a dilemma with is Tefano, because I've had some pretty big offers for him. Of course, he was on loan at Freiburg last year. He's only come back at the start of July. Man City and Dortmund have both made bids. Dortmund have offered me a sell-on, which is maybe nice because he's 22. I'm going to get greedy, I think, with this one, push my luck, and then we'll renegotiate with Man City. Let's try £60 million. Okay. Well, I thought that was greedy, but apparently it wasn't. I mean, I guess now with Manchester United, I'll just push my luck further. I would like £75 million. The sell-on, I'll be honest, isn't the be-all or end-all for me. They've only offered me 55. Reject that. He's probably on his way to Dortmund now. If that sale goes through, that will be £60 million. Our transfer budget, incidentally, sits at just shy of £60 million right now, and that is with a load of wage budget free that I could rejig. I'm probably going to have over £100 million to spend on a player to end the window, and then I'm just going to consider the window done, I think. Because I look at this team, I think it's a really, really good team now all of a sudden. I mean, I say all of a sudden, obviously, we did win the Premier League last year, so it's not really come out of nowhere. Now, it is worth noting, we've got the European/South American Club Challenge, which is a competition going on in pre-season, I think. I've also got the Super Cup and the Community Shield. I've actually run out of screen space here for all the competitions we're going to be in. I think next episode we're going to do... Well, maybe, I don't even know what games we're going to do. Maybe, is the schedule sorted yet? Oh, it is. Maybe next episode we do the Community Shield, the Super Cup, and the Euro SAM Challenge. I know I've got Arsenal on the opening day of the Premier League. I played Arsenal last video. I'm not doing it again to start the season. I say that. The Community Shield's against Arsenal. So, yeah, we are playing Arsenal, obviously. But I think with Atletico Madrid and also Belgrano to play, which will be just interesting vibes. The Argentinian team, the team that we're going to play. I guess they won the Copa Sudamericana. I assume it's the Sudamericana winners that play in this game. I'll be honest, I have no clue. Oh, and one more sale that I should mention. Gustav Lundqvist is on his way out. I've already demoted him down to the reserves, hopefully leaving for just shy of £20 million. So that's even more money to go out and make one more big, massive signing potentially. You can see it. Potential transfer income, 64 million, with clauses going up to 80 million. Also going to save £100,000 on the wages, which is nice. Yeah, I can make one more big transfer this window, I think. But, and I hate to blue ball you, I'm going to do it next video. In fact, I'm going to come back next episode for the start of the season, that Community Shield game against Arsenal, and unveil whatever it is I've cooked up. The reason for that, full transparency, I'm recording right now and it's 1 AM. I waited for it to get cool in my room, because we're in a heatwave in the UK and it's very hot, and midway through playing through this episode, my PC crashed. And I lost a lot of footage and had to replay out the game, which is fine, everything's fine, like, it's not really, nothing changed. It's just, this is going to be a very late night for me if I play all the way to the start of the season. And I kind of feel like we're almost done. I suppose that what that does mean is down in the comments, you can influence me. How should I be spending the remaining money I've got at the club? I feel like the overall debt for the club has maybe got a little bit worse this year, but it's full of some great youngsters that I would really like to give some minutes to. And I am feeling pretty well equipped for a Champions League run. When you look at the bench, there's lots of 4-star players here who are really, really good. Anyway, folks, I've still got to edit this video before I go to bed. Hopefully it's dropping in your subscription box at midday, and hopefully you've enjoyed things today. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. Appreciate you hanging out with me. It's me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one, where there should be a really big transfer having happened.